Hello, this is Prophet AmbiGlow, and we're just gonna jump right in. And so I was talking with Papa yesterday. I was talking with God. I call him Papa. I was talking with God yesterday, and we were having like a counseling session. We really were. We were having a counseling session. And I was writing about it this morning, and he gave me the urge to talk about it. So I'm here to talk about it. I'm just gonna jump straight in. There is nothing that you need to bring to the table. Okay? There is nothing that you need to bring to the table. I was talking with God yesterday, and I realized, growing up, I wanted to be picked. So I would try to make myself worthy. I would try to make myself, okay, so what, I need to be able to give to somebody. Like I need to have something to give to them. And that's fine, like to want to have something, but it's the mindset behind it. I'm going to say everything in this world is God's, okay? Everything in this world is God's. And this is why I'm only speaking to God's children, okay? I'm not talking to the world. They got their own ideals, and that's why that question is very worldly. What can you provide? You can't provide anything. Hear me when I say, you can't provide anything. Everything that you provide for somebody is God's. Everything that you're providing for somebody is God's. He provided you with that thing, so automatically with that mindset, there shouldn't be any, okay, well, I'm looking for somebody who I can take from, because you know that God will provide for you in whatever area you needed something to be taken. And excuse me for the distractions if I start looking over and stuff. It's just cars driving by. But that's why it's important to be equally yoked, because if one person has this mindset that God provides everything that we need, but then the other person is like, no, I got it, there's going to be too much tension. And the person who says I got it, they're going to be lording it over the other person. They're going to be like, I gave you this, I gave you that. No, baby, you didn't give me anything. God gave you that to give to me. You are the resource. Come on, somebody. He is the source. Your husband is the resource. Your wife is the resource. God is the source. Your boyfriend is a resource. Your girlfriend is a resource. God is the source. The very first marriage, Adam and Eve. God had already created the garden and everything. The only thing that he told Adam to do was to name the animals. Then that's when he made Eve. And she didn't have to work or try to be anybody else. He just made her to be a helpmate, to cultivate the land. And what made me think about this when I was talking with God yesterday, I said, because I wanted to be picked so bad. And like, we love these people, like husbands, wives. That's why you can you can be married, you can be in a relationship and still be rejected somehow. This is for my single people too. Like, if you're looking for a relationship, if you're waiting for that relationship, whatever it may be, you can still be in that relationship and rejected. And that's why God is saying, I need you to know that I'm your source. But I wanted to be worthy, right? So I'm doing all these things. I wanted to be worthy. And a lot of it is fear of not being worthy, because now that if they don't need you somehow, that fear of them leaving is there. Because it's like, okay, well, I can't provide anything. I can't bring anything to the table. So I was talking with God. I said, God, I guess I just wanted, and I'm crying and everything. I said, I guess I just wanted to bring something to the table. And Papa stopped me so fast. He did. He said, did I ever ask you to bring anything to the table? I said, no. And he said, then what made you think that you had to bring something to the table? I said, I don't know. And he said, who prepares the table? I said, you prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. He said, did I ask you to bring anything? I said, no, again. He said, this is not a potluck. He said, this is not a potluck. I'm the one preparing the table. I got the table. I got the chairs. I got the plates. I got the silverware. I got the food. I'm inviting you. He's the one who creates, who sets the wedding banquet. He's the one who sets the banquet. He's the one who sets the table. All he told you to do is just come. So your relationship, all he told you to do was just come. All he told you to do was receive. But subconsciously you're thinking in your mind, I need to have something. I need to have a job in line. I need to have a house already. I need to have these things. I need to have this. I need to have that. And look, that's good to have those things. I'm not saying to not try to get those things, but at the same time, go back to God. Because we've mixed the world in what God has been doing for far too long. We have. Because God can get the glory out of anybody's situation. That's why with one man, and I wanted to say, it's so many expectations on men and women both. Like the expectations that women have, oh, you should have a career, you should do this, you should do that, you should want to do this, you should want to do that. And men have, oh, you need to have a house, you need to have a car, you need to have all these things. And it's not a coincidence that it's getting harder to get these things by yourself, because God is breaking that lie. That is not true. And you have pastors and preachers, I'm going to just be the one to say it. You got pastors and preachers who are telling you all these things where it's like, no, you need to have a house ready. You need to have the car ready. No. For one man, God can do that for you and give glory to God. But for another, he might not do that. For another, you might start off with a low income job. And God will bring you your wife to help you. And as you both elevate, cultivate the land. Cultivate. And you may not even, the thing is we focus so much on the physical, on the outside, that we forget we're just supposed to be serving God. But you may start off low income, and then he gives you your wife, and then you work together, and then you build up that way, and then it's glory to God that way too. He is the author and the finisher of our faith. He is writing our stories individually. Like, I don't think y'all understand this. Individually, he is writing your story. It's so complex. Like, God is so strategic and complex. We cannot wrap our minds around it. But individually, he is writing your story. And even then, we're all interwoven with one another. But I'm here to tell you, if you're a Christian, brother or sister, there's nothing that you need to bring to the table. The expectation that the world will put on you will stress you out, will have you getting out of the will of God, because now you're trying to be this entrepreneur, CEO, when God just told you, hey, I need you to work at Wendy's. You know what I'm saying? Like, God's like, you're looking for a wife, but you don't know that your wife is going to be at Wendy's. Your wife isn't going to be, you know, out on a Jamaican beach or something. I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. And I'm just saying, as an example, though, we don't know. We just have to seek God. That's why he says, seek first his kingdom. Because we don't know how God is going to bring our husbands or our wives or our jobs or whatever it may be, our car, however. We just seek him. And sometimes he'll tell us. He'll tell us. Sometimes he'll tell you, hey, this is going to be your house. Sometimes he'll tell you when you're going to get a house. Don't know what it, he can tell you things, but it's whatever you can be trusted with. And however he wants to write your story. So I'm just here to say, your relationship, your marriage, it's not a potluck. You can't bring anything to the table. It's all God's. Okay? So that's why we freely give to our partners. Vice versa. Christ loved the church, that unconditional agape love, no matter what. The world, they got 50-50 and all these other things. Baby, on both sides, it's supposed to be agape. On both sides, it's supposed to be God. It's not 50-50. It's God is providing for us. We are now one person. We are now one flesh. God is providing for us. So whatever I get is yours. Whatever you get is mine. You know what I'm saying? Because we're one. So with that being said, if your husband has a house, nowhere in there should you feel, I'm going to speak from the wife point of view, nowhere should you feel like, oh my gosh, he got the house, so now I got to do more to feel worthy, or you know what I'm saying? No, baby, God gave him that house. God gave him that job. God gave you that car. So whatever it is, you are to freely lend to your partner. Because we're now one. We're triple braided cord. Everything that I own is yours. Everything that you own is mine. So, and it says that even with your bodies. It's important to be equally yoked because you don't want one person lording it over the other. You don't want any kind of oppression. You don't want no kind of demonic oppression in your relationship at all. That's why it's important to know everything I own is God's. Everything you own is God's. At any point, he can take it away. God gives and he takes away. Okay? So, I want to release you of that pressure. I want to release you from the expectation. And it's hard to do that in a world like this. But that's why you got to stay prayed up. Continuously seek after God's will. There's no safer place than in God's will. Okay? Seek after God. Seek after God. If you're stressed out, I'm telling you, maybe you're focusing on your mama's expectations. Maybe you're focusing on your boss's expectations. Maybe you're focusing on your own expectations, perfectionism and all this other stuff. Maybe God's saying, bring it to me. I already have your story written. It's already written. Bring it to me. Okay? So yes, Papa prepares the table. He already have everything set. The banquet's already set. Your relationship, everything that you need in your relationship, when it comes together, it'll already, all things are ready. You may be looking like, how am I ready for a relationship? I don't have a job. How am I ready for a relationship? I don't have a house yet. I may just have an apartment. Maybe I don't even have a house at all or an apartment at all. How am I ready? How am I ready for a relationship? I don't have a car. And then people will be like, there will be people and preachers and pastors who are not seeking after God before they speak over people, will be like, no, they ain't ready. But God told you were ready. Does that make sense? Because God knows your story. And He will get the glory out of it. He will. You're going to give Him the glory. Because you're going to know, baby, I didn't have a house. And God still blessed me with somebody who had a house. And so He used that person to bless me. And we worked together that way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will think this is transactional. It's not transactional. It's not transactional when you have God. Because it's not your transaction. A lot of people fear that type of thing. A lot of people fear, men, I'm not going to say men don't like to provide, but they don't want to feel used for the things that they can provide. They don't want to be used for their houses and stuff like that. They fear that type of thing. But you should only fear that if you're in the world. If you're looking for worldly women, yes, they will use you. If you have a godly woman, baby, she knows that what you got anyway ain't even yours. And if you don't know that, you gonna learn. You know what I'm saying? But that's how God uses both of us. Both of us, man and woman. He knows we can't do it alone. And so because the world has made us try to do it alone, is because now we can't even focus on God. We have no time to. We're trying to work and do this and take care of kids, and then we gotta pay for the mortgage and pay for car payments and do all this and do all that. And the world is catching on, and so they're coming up with all the 50-50 stuff. But still, they're unhappy. It's still gonna be unhappy because they don't have God. But I love you. I'm gonna end this video. I just needed to release somebody because it released me. There's nothing that you need to bring to the table. Okay? Everything that you have is God's. Everything they have is God's. And if y'all finally come together, there shouldn't be any kind of oppression. You shouldn't feel bad for anything. You shouldn't feel bad for anything. Because what did I say? It's God's, not theirs. It's God's, not theirs. They can say all they want. Oh, I worked hard for this. Well, baby, look, nobody told you to work hard. You know what I'm saying? God didn't tell us to hustle. Hustle culture is not ours. That is not godly. That is not from the Lord. Come on, somebody. So, God is He's an amazing God. He's a good God. I wanted to use something other than good. He's amazing. He is. Okay? He knows it. We weren't supposed to carry it by ourselves. And he's showing people, look, you can't. And the way you know if something is truth is if it's going to be truth from the beginning all the way up until the end. And we're starting to see the things that they said were true, the things saying, oh, you should have a house before you get in a relationship. Baby, this not possible. I mean, it's possible. It is possible. Come on, because I know somebody gonna comment and be like, oh, it's possible. But it's hard. It's hard for common people. And we're starting to see that. But that's why we trust God the whole time. He knows. Stop worrying about the outside. What's on the inside? Do you have God really? That's what's valuable. That's what's worthy. Because that means in any situation, nothing can break you. In any situation, nothing can break you. That's what makes you different. I love you. I'll see you in the next video. Information is in the description below. Okay, everything, sewing, all of it. Book. But yes, I love you and God loves you. Bye.